Hello and welcome to my channel. It is March 17th, 2021, and I have a terrible topic here. Texas turning blue. While it may not be turning blue, we're definitely a purple state. However, that doesn't mean that the Democrats don't smell blood. Yes, the Texas disaster is over and the fallout is just beginning. Will the Republican official of the state pay the price of recent blackouts? That's right. I mean, the blackouts were terrible. Dozens of Texas are dead because of the state energy crisis last week. By the way, this is about a few weeks old article. So dozens of Texans are dead because of the energy crisis during the winter storm. Some froze in their bed or the living room. Others suffocated. That's right, in their idling car, poisoned by carbon monoxide. A few perished in house fires while trying to keep their family warm, and millions spent the days without heat or running water. Gaming out our electoral ramification in the event that when it was still causing pain may seem crass, but the politics of the energy crisis are irrectable from the event itself. Many Texans blamed the collapse of the power grid of the impervious of it all for suffering on the last of state leadership. Will voters hold these leaders accountable the next time they cast their ballot? Absolutely, without a doubt. Even though they had very little influence, now when I say very little, we have actually have processes in place. We have a regulatory party which actually handles this. Uh, when people say that Texas is deregulated, what that means is we are not federally regulated. However, we are state regulated, which means a lot of the blame is within the state on how it failed. But yeah, keep in mind, we're not the only state that lost power. I think there's a three or four other states, if my memory serves me correctly, were in the same predicament as Texas was when it came to the storm. The storm was a unique unique set of variables where it covered all of Texas, which was pretty much freezing us out, which couldn't rely on past strategies of, okay, let's say if the western part freezes, we'll use the eastern part and push power that way. But no, assessing the political liability for natural disaster is tricky. Texas is still a Republican state. Ish, we're more actually purple, but we'll give them that. Despite Democrats' progressive in recent elections, the power grid collapse of 2021 is not likely to be the final push that turns the Lone Star State blue, but the specific circumstances of that week's catastrophe made predicting voter behavior more difficult than it might normally be. Political experts spoke with. We're very confident about at least one thing: the disaster will certainly inspire more Democrats to challenge the state's ruling party. If you ask who's going to win the governor race in 2022, my answer is going to be the Republican. Dan Hopkins said, a political science professor of the University of Pennsylvania who studied political behavior, told me. But events like this can inject uncertainty. That's right. There's going to be a reckoning. Excuse me while I cough. Now, here's another one from the Hill. I'm not going to read all of that. Republicans and Democrats are lined up to replace the late Ron White, Republican Texas, in a special election that is seen as possible a bellwether of Democrats' ability to muster enthusiasm in Texas and take advantage of their newfound popularity in the suburbs. 23 candidates, 11 Republicans and 10 Democrats, and a Libertarian and an Independent, have filed to run in the May 1st election, while the 6th congressional district has been controlled by Republicans since the 1980s. Biden came within 3 points of flipping the district, which made up for Dallas-Fort Worth suburbs and more rural of Ellis and Navarro counties. So, yes, we have a special election to replace a House representative on the federal level. Now, it could be very likely that this is going to be a nothing burger and the Republican's going to take his place. We won't know. We don't know the political fallout of the winter storm. Now, this one, if a Democrat does win, is going to mean a couple of things. One, it's almost a bluish area, more the bluish on the purple side in the Dallas Fort Worth area, and these people are going to have the winter storm fresh in their mind, and they just may do a protest vote because they feel betrayed, they feel let down. But keep in mind, the certain events that happened, certain variables of that storm were very unique, and we can't let the emotions get the best of us. Now, not we, but the Republicans really have to nail that home. They really have to say, yes, there are certain areas of our power grid that we must take responsibility and ensure that these steps are taken care of. One of them is, from what my understanding, is the fuel for the natural fuel that was actually left outside, and guess what? It froze outside, which froze the fuel. So it wasn't just the wind turbines failing. I think they failed first because of the ice and the extra weight. But however, that may have been the cause of the initial surge. But also keep in mind the other forms of energy also failed us. Not to mention that I think one of the three nuclear plants were down for maintenance. So it was more of a series of events that led up to what happened this year in the winter storm. But hopefully, we got another 10 years and we can prepare for it. And hopefully, we as the American citizens can take precautions if we live in homes to go get solar, to buy a generator, or even a Tesla Powerwall or the liquid metal batteries when they come out. So we could better be prepared for this. So I think we also hold some responsibility, not just the leaders. Anyways, like I said, Texas may turn blue. I think we're about one or two elections for seeing our first Democrat governor, especially this one. I think this one was, yeah, February 22nd. Texas Democrat chart a path to turn the Lone Star State blue. And this was pretty much criticizing Cruz on this trip um, to Cancun rather than staying. That's kind of a bad look for Ted Cruz, even though there's really not much he could have done because he's in charge of the federal level. Anyways, this is a warning. People are taking notice. People are not happy about the energy crisis that happened last month. So, yeah, Republicans, you can't put on notice now. I'm not going to say who I'm going to vote for. But I do know I'm no longer voting Democrats. I think they lost me as a party. But keep in mind, I have no love for the Republicans. I'm actually a no party person. I'd probably say I'm more independent. It's more leans libertarian. But even then, I can't really vote libertarian, mainly because of the candidates that they put forward are not that great either. Like I said, I'm in the favor of a no party solution, mainly because I think both parties have screwed America. Anyways, these are just a few stories and little highlights on how there's a path to turning Texas blue with the current issues with the power grid. And of course, they're going to be spreading the or the lack of mask mandate from Governor Abbott, and how Governor Abbott is keep on failing us, and he's the party that keeps on failing. He couldn't handle a pandemic, couldn't handle a power grid crisis. So why are we electing Republicans? That's going to be their argument. The counter argument is, look at Austin. Austin is paying for legal fees for illegal aliens. We got issues here stateside. We got issues in Austin, but yet they're wasting money on non-citizens of the United States, non-Texan citizens, but yet they're going to be flipping the bill for illegal immigrations for people that don't even belong here in the first place. I mean, that's a whole entirely different video. I'm actually on the fence on that one because a lot of those people are underage, and it's not a cut and dry argument. But however, I don't think the city of Austin should be flipping the bill. I don't think Austin taxpayers should be flipping the bill. Let me rephrase that. To pay for such services. Now, if you want to donate to such funds, that's a completely different argument. But, anyways, this is why we can't have Democrats in control. They'll raise our taxes. I'm pretty sure if Democrats got control of Texas on the governor level and on the Texas Senate side, we're going to have an income tax. The property tax will be risen. The income tax will be implemented, and over time we'll be paying more in taxes because of the state income tax, assuming that the Democrats can get a majority in the Texas Senate. Anyways, that's the only thing that's stopping me from not voting Republican, which is the weakest of the arguments. Anyways, leave a comment down below what your thoughts are. Smash the like and subscribe button on all platforms if you want to. But most importantly, have yourself a wonderful day, morning, or evening.